Vehicle tab next. This is where you would scan the vehicle registration. All of the information will populate in. One of the flaws of the vehicle registration scan is down here where you see classification. What I'm going to do is select plated vehicle so that all this stuff is accessible. Under classification, this specific classification that is required never populates in for any vehicle. It seems to be a type of a glitch in the program, but you have to actually select whether it's a motorcycle, passenger truck, watercraft, motor-driven cycle, Class B or A. So you need to select what vehicle classification it is before it will allow you to complete the citation. You also have the opportunity to select this button here, copy offender information. Say the person didn't have their registration, you would have to manually enter in all of this information. If the person that is driving the vehicle owns the vehicle, you can click copy offender information and it will automatically populate this information in here for you. Now another feature I will show you, and I'm going to go back to offender, is if the person does not have a driver's license and you entered them in for a ticket and now you want to write a local ordinance violation to them, you have to write a separate ticket for that. Local ordinance violations and state citations cannot be written under the same ticket. So you have to write separate tickets, which means you go through all of this for either state citations, complete it and print it, and then start another ticket for local ordinances. And in that situation, what you would do is, if you didn't have something to scan, you could come down here and use this Use Previous Offender button. You click this button here, and it pulls this up where you can select a previously entered person's name, who the top person would be the one you just did. You would select that, hit OK, it populates everything in for you. The Vehicle tab has the same thing right here, Use Previous Vehicle. You click on that, you come up here to the previous vehicle and hit OK, and it populates in all of your information for you. You can go to offenses. This is where you write what the person has committed as far as traffic violations. The first thing you have to do is select who's getting the ticket, the driver or a passenger in a vehicle. Once that's done, now you can come over here and add an offense or add a warning. Offense would be either a local ordinance or an IC code. You would go through and completely fill out all the information specific to the offense. You would hit close and it would show up right in here. If you wanted to add warning, you can do that. It's the same thing. So the screen looks the same. You hit done. Of course, I didn't fill anything in. That's why it's giving me that error. So I'm canceling. And it would show up here as an offense or a warning. You can add as many in here as you would like. Say you wrote someone a citation, and while you're in your car, you change your mind and decide you want to give them a warning instead. You could click on that offense and hit demote to a warning. It would change it to a warning with no other thing, and it's just that simple. You would continue on then. Moving on to court. If you wrote a citation, you're going to have the opportunity, and I'm going to go ahead and have to write something here real quick so that you can see that. I'm just going to enter some information in here to get this in here to show you how this will work. Okay, so again, here's a complaint and summons, the IC code, the description of what the thing is. I can demote it to a warning. Now it's a warning. I can click on it, promote to an offense. Now it's back to a ticket. I can click on it, edit the offense, and it brings it back up. I can also double click it and open it up just like that. I can also click on it and delete the offense if needed. I'm going to leave it as a citation so that I can show you the court tab, how that works. You go to the court tab, you can select what court it's going to be written in. Did you give them a pamphlet or not? Were they arrested or not? Go here to offender must contact the court, 30 days. and that completes the course section. You go over here to the notes section. You can enter in notes, or for you or the prosecutor, you can select if it's for a specific project you're out working, or you also have the spot where you can enter in the CAD number. Now I'm going to talk about the CAD number. Typically, when I write a ticket that is going to be associated with a case report, I will type in that CAD number in this box. This CAD number will then print off under the UTT number of the ticket when you print those off for your reports. It makes it a lot easier if it's going to be a little bit later before you do your report and you write multiple tickets and you print them all out. You know which tickets to grab and associate with what case so that you can get your paperwork all together and organized. You also have the opportunity to add witnesses. You click this witness tab and it pulls up these fields here. You can either enter them in by hand or scan a person's license or ID card, which will populate the information in for you. In this type of a situation, say you had someone that called and reported a violation. You got their information, you located them and stopped them. You could put their information in here. Additionally, if several officers are working, what you would do is say an officer pulled someone over for speed. They discovered during their initial investigation of the stop that the subject was intoxicated. Another officer is out working DUI enforcement and decides to take that case. What the DUI enforcement officer would do is list the initial officer's information in here under Witness 1, but the DUI officer would issue all of these citations, including the citation of speed, which was the original reason for the stop. The purpose of this is to ensure that all tickets for any specific case are all together on one e-citation instead of having two separate e-citations for one case. Once that's completed, you would just click on Done, and that information would be saved. You also see here, and notice this is under the Notes/Comments tab up above. That is where all of these tabs are located. The witnesses, if you want to do a probable cause affidavit or add a tow form. I'm going to get into these in the next section I'm going to cover, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of this part so that I can show you how the rest of it works. When I'm completed with a ticket, you notice I clicked on the Complete Ticket button. This box then pulls up, which is what's going to allow you to print off the ticket if you wish. You have the option to print the ticket off for the violator, a copy for the officer, a court summary, or a complaint and summons. We typically, in the car, will click Ticket Violator Copy, because that is what we will be giving the person that we pulled over. That's their copy of the violation. When we return to station later, we access the system online and print our copies off at the police department to save a little bit on the paper that we use in our patrol cars. I am not going to print this off for our purposes here today, so I'm going to leave these all blank and just click Cancel. That will avoid any printing. Now you can see up here on our dashboard we have 2 tickets that have been issued, where I had one before. So that is the first way you can issue a ticket or a warning, by using the new blank ticket tab. If you want to utilize one of your templates that you have created, what you would do is go to New Easy Ticket, which pulls up all of your templates that will be listed. We only have one listed here. We're going to say we were doing this specific thing, so we're going to click on this, and it's going to pull it up for us. Now the one thing I want to show you is, if you go to Vehicle, you'll see Vehicle Plates Required is already checked. That's because we checked that in our template. When you go to Offense, you're going to see offense information is already in here. It's because that was already previously entered in our template information, and the court information is already preset for us. I'm going to go back to the Offender tab. This is where you would scan the license. You can use Previous Offender, which I will use since I have information in here just so you can see. You'll go to Vehicle, same thing again, either scan the registration, enter it by hand, hit Copy Offender Information, you'll see it just populated all of that in. Use Previous Vehicle, fills everything in for us. Offense. Now, you can double click the offense and you can pull it up and double verify that everything is in here correct. You'll see everything that we entered in is in here still. Hit done. You can just continue on from here to add offenses and warnings as you wish for whatever violations have occurred that you want to write for. The court information, as I mentioned, is already previously filled in, so there's nothing we need to do there. And then when you go to the Notes Comments section, it's the same thing as in the new blank ticket. Everything's the same. You still have these options to add witnesses, add towing form. You'll see you can't add a probable cause affidavit right now. That's because you haven't entered in any specific citations that you wrote to allow this button to come into play. Another feature you have that is new in this updated version is a lot of times guys like to copy the ticket number so that they can put it in their report. A feature they added for this new program is if you go up here to, you can see click to copy. You click that and then you can open up a Word document or whatever, or paste it right into your report without having to write down all of the numbers. That's a new feature. Okay, so what I'm going to do is close out of this, because that is essentially the gist of writing a ticket, a local ordinance, or a warning in this program. What I want to do is continue on with how to show you how to do a probable cause or a towing form. And with that, I'm going to open up one that I've already previously prepared that we can kind of go through. When you click on a previously entered ticket, it's going to pull this up and give you the option to modify the ticket, modify a probable cause, or modify a tow if those all are associated with whatever you just clicked on. I'm going to click on Modify Ticket because that is the first place we start when we issue anything. You can see I've got the ticket information entered in for the offender. The vehicle information is entered in. There's several offenses that are listed here, and if you notice, one of them is operating a vehicle intoxicated. The court information is in here, however, we are going to have to change that. I used the template to create this, that's why this court was in here. But since it's an arrestable misdemeanor offense, the court has to be changed in our purposes to St. Joe Superior Court, and I need to also, since I would have arrested him, check the offender incarcerated box. Instead of the offender must contact, typically the court will contact the offender after they've been arrested. I will then move on to the notes section. This is where I would include any notes for the prosecutor or myself. I would input my CAD number in here since this is going to draw a case report. If I had